Hello again and welcome to Microsoft Mechanics Live. So coming up, we're going to take a look at the latest updates to accelerate modern teamwork using Microsoft 365, starting with the work that we're doing to empower different kinds of workers across different industries, the completion of Skype for Business capabilities coming into Microsoft Teams to deliver a complete meeting and calling solution, deeper teamwork experiences to transform collaboration, and for IT, my favorite part, I'm going to show you new controls for security, compliance, team management, and more. But before we get started, please everybody give a warm welcome to Lori Wright, General Manager for Microsoft 365. Welcome.
Thank you, Jeremy. Great to be here.
So we're seeing some really big shifts in the way that people are actually getting work done today and working together. What is your team doing to address these shifts?
Well, we recognize that the way that people work around the world is truly changing. People work on more teams than ever before. Their work is more distributed than ever before. And so we built Microsoft Teams less than 2 years ago as the hub for teamwork in Microsoft 365. And what we're doing now is we're expanding this across a whole new set of scenarios so that it truly is for every worker out there.
Great. So can you tell us about some of the recent announcements that we've made this week?
Yes, we had a lot of announcements. Hopefully some of you got to see the general session we did yesterday. But I'll start with one of the more exciting areas we announced, which was for first-line workers. And when you think about first-line workers, there are 2.5 billion of these people in the workforce, and they actually represent 80% of the global workforce.
Right.
And these are the factory workers and the retail clerks and the people who don't traditionally have dedicated offices or dedicated PCs. And they work in shifts, and they typically just have a mobile phone. And so, what we are doing now is we want to give them the same advantages that traditionally have been given to knowledge workers, where the capabilities, the technological advantages that they can take advantage of as well.
Right, and this really helps us then to customize and extend Teams capabilities even more broadly. And the other great thing is that we're also infusing in some AI, some intelligence, pretty much across all of Microsoft services, and Teams is also doing this, but what are we doing to translate all the intelligence work into teamwork?
Well, so we're investing in AI scenarios across Microsoft 365. One example of how this comes to life is in chat translation. I'm sure many of you out there have seen. And we're able to translate a chat in real time into 40 languages. This really breaks down communication barriers for people who are working in different parts of the world and speak different native tongues. And so this is the benefit of AI.
Right.
Another strong example of this is in our cloud meeting recording that we announced went GA this week as well. And what this does is it takes meeting content, sends it up to the cloud, unlocks all of it, and breaks it down so that meeting can be transcribable and searchable after the fact. And it also includes facial detection. So it's really cool to be able to jump to different points of different speakers in the timeline. And so this is all, again, an AI capability. Lots of other examples as well, but those are two.
Right, real differentiators in Teams. And I know a lot of people are probably used to using email or SharePoint, maybe Yammer. How do we support those different modalities really as we think about introducing new ways of working together?
Well, we're bringing our collaboration experiences closer together across the Microsoft 365 portfolio. One of the examples of this we announced this week also was we're going to take Yammer and bring that into Teams as a tab. And we're also doing that with SharePoint pages. So that will also be a tab. And so these are ways that we're bringing the portfolio closer.
And of course, everything's underpinned by security, right? The security that we get through SharePoint and everything else in Microsoft 365.
Yes, so all of this is enterprise-grade security, compliance, and manageability.
Okay, so let's dive a bit deeper on the work that we're doing to deliver Teams to workers in different professions.
Great.
Or industries.
All right, so since the earliest days of Microsoft Teams, many of you, all of you raised your hands in the audience, you're using Teams. One of the strongest verticals that we have seen is for education. Teams is being used very, very widely in education for classroom coordination and for assignments. And so as we look to broaden now, one of the areas that we're going into, as I mentioned, is first-line workers. And so what we're doing there is that if you think about, there's two different views. There's a manager view and an employee view. And for managers, they often need to create shift schedules, and they need to share these schedules out with their teams. And then these first-line workers need to be able to communicate back with their manager and to be able to say yes or no on a shift. And so we're making teams easily customizable where it can be work to manage shifts both for the manager and for the employee.
All right, so what does it look like then for the employee to start using some of these things?
Let me show you.
Let's do a demo.
Picture's worth 1,000 words.
Yes.
Okay, so I'm going to pick up a phone here, which is the primary device for most first-line workers. You see here I have a shifts icon. I can click this shifts icon, and I can see all of the shifts that I have been assigned to work that day. Well, the 29th is my birthday, and so I don't want to work on my birthday, so I'm going to click that, and I am going to ask to swap that shift. With a click of a button, I can say swap, and see the different team members who are available to work that day. And so I'll go ahead here and let me pick Adele. She looks great. All right, so Adele, the request has been sent off to my manager, and hopefully Adele can pick up that shift for me. So that's an example of shifts. Now another great new first line capability we have here, if I go back home, is that I can see when messages have been sent to me by either the company or by my manager. And in this case, you know, I'm a grocery clerk, and I can see that there's been an outbreak of E. coli in romaine lettuce.
And
so I need to go
super important that you'd have to action and really make sure that everybody gets that message.
Yeah, I mean, E. coli, probably not a lot of fun for anyone.
Right.
So we'll get the lettuce off the shelves, and we need to have it done by noon today.
Okay.
So that's an example of being able to communicate in a very important way out to the staff. Now, one last thing I want to show you here on first line workers is I can go up to the clock, and with a simple click of a button, I can hold it down, and I have now started my shift. So I'm officially on the clock. And then if I wanted to, I can stop my shift, or I can take a break at any point in time. And these are just a few of the features.
That's good, but you're on the clock now, just so you know. So let's keep going. So you mentioned that Teams is now a complete meeting and calling solution as well, and we've been on this journey to really incorporate all of the Skype for Business capabilities into Teams. How's that worked out then? What are the additional capabilities that we can look forward to as we upgrade to Microsoft Teams?
Well, last year, as many of you know, we announced our vision for intelligent communications. And since that time, we have seen really, really great momentum. And in fact, yesterday we announced that Teams is the fastest growing business app in the history of Microsoft. Today we have over 300,000, 329,000 to be precise, organizations who are using Teams. It is used by 87 of the Fortune 100, and we had Accenture recently cross the mark of our first customer that has over 100,000 monthly active users.
Right, and we've done a lot in terms of all the updates as well, right?
Yes, we have. Okay, so with our intelligent communications vision, we knew first thing we needed to do was publish a roadmap and say to get from Skype for Business to Teams, we needed to do these things. And we've delivered all of the features that we put out on that roadmap. That was over 90 features. And then we also innovated on top of that with features like blur and translation and things of that sort. Today, Teams is ready for messaging, calling, meeting needs for customers around the world. We are helping customers. We're providing assistance to customers who want to upgrade now through Fast Track. And we're also starting for companies that don't traditionally have IT departments, pushing out automatic migrations, if you will, to help those companies get over to Teams.
Great, great. So this is really impressive in terms of all the updates. Even since our last show, we had Ann Michaels showing some things, and we've also had Dan Stevenson recently on. But I know that a few months back, we've added a lot more since then. Can we take a look at some of the recent updates that we've made to Teams?
Yes, yes. Okay, so let's do it. I'll do another demo here. I'm going to start out. A lot of people here are familiar with the basics of Teams, but I can go up here into my Teams and see Teams and channels. And so I'm going to start here in the business review channel. And scrolling here, my colleague Praveen has sent me a message in a language I don't necessarily understand. Can you interpret that?
No, I speak Mandarin and German, but that's not one of those two.
That look like Mandarin or German. Okay, so what I can do, Microsoft Teams can help, and with a simple click of a button, just like that.
Wow. And this works for 40 languages.
40 languages around the world.
Not
just
bad.
like that.
Very
Yeah.
cool.
So that is a feature. The next thing I just love to point out is across the top here, you see all of the different tabs that are built in. Well, a lot of these, like OneNote, very commonly used application, it is integrated right here into Teams, and so I can be able to see the shared notebook of everything that's going on within this team. I can also go over straight into Power BI and have all the features of Power BI right here within Teams, where I can drill into this content or the data, move the data around, do what I need to do to understand the analytics.
Yep.
I can also go over here to Stream and see all the different videos that pertain to this team. And these are just a couple of examples, tabs across the top.
Yeah, this is one of my favorite features in Teams, because all these tabs are customizable. So regardless of how your team works, you can customize what people see and what the team needs effectively. Therefore, you can have different views for any different type of team, and you can just add tabs with the plus sign there and completely customize your experience.
That's right. And then, if you want to go shopping, we have a Microsoft Store here. You can go down to the store and you can see the hundreds of third-party applications that we have right here that you can add in as a tab into Teams as an integration. Okay, so that's a little bit around everything around tabs. So now let me show you one of the things. Let me go back into this team, and I'm going to show you a meeting recording. This is the feature that we have called meeting recording, and I can start here. And I've missed this meeting, but I want to catch up on it and understand everything that I need to know that happened in the meeting, but I really don't have time to watch the whole thing. So what I can do here by starting it is, one, if for accessibility reasons, as well as if I'm just in a noisy place, I can turn on closed captioning and have,
Very cool. Voice to text.
Correct,
Yep.
correct. So voice to text cognitive services happening here. I can also go and search and say, just, what's important? What did I miss? Where did I get action items assigned? So I can type my name. And looks like here's the 2 points where my name was mentioned in the meeting. And so I can go and check that out and see what I need to go do.
Very cool. Imagine all the hours we would save just by fast forwarding to those action items with our names on them in a captioned meeting like this. That's awesome.
Right, that's right. So that's a little bit about meeting recording. Now let's go down and take a look at a meeting that's already been scheduled. This is a meeting that my colleague Farron has scheduled with me. And so let me go ahead and join this meeting directly within Teams.
Okay.
I hit the join button. And what I have here now is the pre-join screen. And so I can turn my video on or off. I can turn my mic on or off. I can choose different devices. But this is the new feature that we also just made generally available this week, where you see two of me in the background here.
Inception.
Yeah, all right, let me get rid of that. Okay, so I've now turned on background blur. And with that, my background disappears. And
very cool.
And so this is about eliminating distractions.
Yeah, all the distractions, all the mess that we might have behind us in our offices, this will make it much better.
The cat that does acrobatics behind you. Yeah.
Or all the machines that were maybe re-imaging behind us.
Look at that. And there's the one and only Farron Roper. All right. So Farron could do the same thing. He can blur on his end as well. And you see how blur works.
Very good stuff.
Yeah, so that's blur. And then one other thing that's worth a brief mention here is calling. So full calling capabilities are now built into Teams as well. You see all of my contacts here that I could call any of these individuals. But I also just have the standard dial pad that we all know. I can go out here, I can dial any phone number in the world. And I do this through either a Microsoft calling plan or through direct routing. And direct routing lets you basically bring your own calling plan with your existing telco and connect things up. Now, I see I can click over to voicemail as well, and you see I have a voicemail from Angela Donahue. Well, instead of playing it out loud right now, all I can do is take a quick look and see that it's been transcribed for me. I know what Angela wants. I don't have to play it. So transcription is there now as well.
And I know that Angela's a real device buff, so one of the other things that I love about Teams is using Who.
Who is truly one of my favorite parts of Teams. I use it all the time. So I go up here and I do a slash command. And you see all the slash commands that are available. It's a short way to navigate around in the app. If you just do slash, you can see everything that's there. So I'm going to say who. And then I'm going to say who knows about devices, because I need to find the devices expert in the organization. Well, it comes back and it looks at all the different activity that's happening, and it tells me that Angela and Christian are the two people who are having the most conversation around devices. And so I'm going to pick Angela and go ahead and send her a chat. And when I do that, here I see Angela's very prescient and has already read my mind and knows that I'm
using that predictive chat technology.
coming next.
It's in alpha.
And so here I can open up and see this presentation that Angela has sent me on our new devices partners. And these are now, we announced a new certification program for third-party devices where each of these partners are building so that Teams, you can run great, reliable Teams experiences across all of these different partners.
Right, and I know a lot of people are maybe, they've outfitted their meeting rooms with custom hardware from other providers. They've designed their rooms around them. How are we supporting those types of devices?
Well, one way we're doing this is by helping connect the existing video endpoints that are out there, and we're doing this through a set of cloud video Interop partners. Polycom is the first. They announced their GA in market with their CVI solution this week, and then BlueJeans and PEXA will also be announcing GA here in the next couple of weeks.
And where would I go then to find more information about this if I've got one of these rooms?
Well, we just launched a new website also, another exciting step forward this week. You can go to office.com/teams. And you'll be able to see all of the devices that are available across our third parties, and you can even buy these devices directly from the store as well.
Great stuff. So Lori, let's switch gears here. I think there are a few system admins and Microsoft 365 admins among us. So let me talk about some of the security and compliance capabilities. And for that, I'm going to take over, and I'm going to show a couple of things here. First, one of my favorite capabilities across SharePoint and Office 365 and Microsoft 365 is data loss prevention. So here we're seeing an early look at DLP working inside of Teams. You know, I've got some information here that I probably shouldn't be sharing, like a social security number, credit card information. And when I do that, what's going to happen is it's going to block the message, and I can click in and see why it's been blocked. And here I can see, obviously, you shouldn't be sharing credit cards or social security numbers. And the nice thing is, beyond that, the person that's receiving that message is going to see that it was blocked because it has the sensitive information in it. So all of this is really using DLP and that labeling and classification engine behind the scenes to be able to make sure that sensitive information doesn't leak out. One of my favorite things here a lot of my favorite things here with Teams are all the updates to the admin center. So let me show you a couple things there. So this is the new Teams and Microsoft Teams and Skype for Business Admin Center. Bit of a mouthful, but a very powerful admin center. Just to show you a couple of things here. So there's a new Manage Teams node here that you can use, but I'm going to click into Users, because what I wanted to show you is something that you can do around user management that's brand new. First, we can see all the different users that we have in our team. If I click on Adele Vance, for example, I can use this to see what team she's on, and I can also use the edit command here in the Teams upgrade, and I'll expose a brand new set of options here. So typically, as you make the transition from Skype for Business to Microsoft Teams, you have an islands mode that lets users kind of use either one. But now you've got the Teams only option, so you can upgrade to Teams. And you can also, we'll be producing group policy settings that will also allow the client-side configurations to work there as well. Now, let me show you a couple other things here that are pretty cool. So if I go into Manage Teams, you'll see that I have all of my teams here enumerated. Nice list of all the teams, the membership, everything in there, and I can go and edit the teams. I can also do some things in terms of going in directly into the team itself. And what I want to do is, maybe somebody leaves the company, I want to assign different ownership to the team, go from member to owner. Maybe if the owner or previous owner of the team has left, I can do all that right here from this console. So very, very powerful stuff in terms of managing the Teams experience. And one of my favorite things is feel free to clap. I mean, this is good stuff. So we've got some others. If you're using dynamic groups in Azure AD, and hopefully everybody is, and you can use it for devices or users, but let me show you what that looks like on the user side. So the nice thing, let's say I'm operating a hospital. You never know what can happen when you're filming Microsoft Mechanics, so you have to operate hospitals and do some side gigs sometimes. So here I'm going to click into the Portland Hospital, and you'll see that I've got this dynamic group, and it's got dynamic membership rules. Now when I click into those dynamic rules, what I'll see here is that any department that starts with Portland, anybody that's got that in their Azure AD attribute, is going to be joined to this team. That means that as I hire people, as people leave my organization, that team's going to dynamically grow and contract with those new hires into teams. So everybody's provisioned directly into the teams they should actually be in. And one last thing, because I know this is a request that we get from a lot of people, is templating and kind of doing work to make sure that we can provision teams in automated ways using scripting, maybe calling APIs through PowerShell, whatever you want to do. And we've done a lot of work here in terms of building teams using scripted automation. So for example, if you want to hook into HR systems or do other work, you can actually templatize teams, put in content, personalize those teams. This is all brand new stuff. You can see it's in preview that we're adding to Microsoft Teams. So those are just a few things, a few of my favorite Teams things. But we've done a lot more than this, right?
We have. I think, one, it's a great demo. We might want to hire you on the demo team if you have some spare time. But otherwise, we're barely scratching the surface here in terms of all these great features. For both our users and for our admins, it's really awesome to see all that's happening here with Teams.
Very cool. So lots of really good updates, really to hopefully help bring teams together. Thank you, Lori, for the tour of all the different additions to Teamwork. But what's next on the horizon?
Well, we're always working on the next thing, and I look forward to coming back for the next show and telling you all about it. But for now, I'll tell you that the things that we're really, really focused on are continuing with the extensibility of Teams and also making sure that across Microsoft 365, it gets smarter and smarter and is really helping teams around the world work better together.
Right, and I think I've answered the question, but for those of us who are looking to get started with Teams, where do they go to learn more?
I think the easiest place is office.com/Teams. Here you can find anything that you need related to Teams. We have a free version where you can get started, or you can go ahead and start in the full-featured paid versions as well. So lots of options out there on office.com/Teams.
Thank you, and also be sure to check out our recent shows on Microsoft Teams as well as stream on Microsoft Mechanics. Thanks for watching. Subscribe to our channel. We'll see you next time, and goodbye for now.